So this is your very first lecture for Learn 11 in Module 1. This is based on Chapter 1 of your Learn 11 textbook. So if you haven't yet downloaded your ebook, please pause this video, go download your ebook, and read Chapter 1, and then you can resume watching this video. This week, we are going to be talking about navigating college for success. So, what are some things that you can expect in college? In your textbook, there was this table of what happens in high school versus what happens in college. And in college, you're going to have a lot more choices. You have a lot more choices when it comes to your classes, what time you take classes, your professors, things like that. You're also going to have a lot more reading in college. And you are going to be expected to do all of that reading in order to understand the lectures that you show up to. Material at the college level is also presented at a much faster pace than the high school level. In high school, there's an entire year that you are getting the material. In college, we're limited to the semester. Your instructors in college also are giving you less reminders. They're not telling you when your assignments are due necessarily. You have a syllabus and you are checking that syllabus. You are checking Canvas to make sure that you are staying on top of your work. The school itself might feel, if you take any on-campus classes, really big and really impersonal compared to your high school experience. And also, instructors in college are experts in their field. They do not have to get a teaching degree in order to teach at the college level. Now, a lot of college instructors do have a teaching degree. I have a teaching degree in addition to my English degrees. But that's not true for all instructors. And so they are not always thinking about the best way to deliver the material to the students. They are delivering material in a way that makes sense to them. And so part of what we are going to be doing in this course is learning about you. What are your learning preferences? What are your instructors' learning preferences after observing them and watching their lectures? And how are you going to make the most of that situation? So, with all of those things, those challenges when going into college, there's some things that you can do to make the transition a little bit easier. First, decrease the unknowns. Please use the resources that are available to you at LBCC. Please reach out to your instructors, your academic advisors. Go on the website and see if you can get some questions answered. If you take any online or on campus classes, go to campus and figure out where your classrooms are going to be. If you are taking online classes and your instructor has opened up the course early, take a look at what the course looks like. It's also okay to admit your feelings. It's okay to admit that you're anxious or you're nervous about being in college. Even if you are further removed from high school and it's been many years since you've been in school, it's okay to admit that you are nervous about it because the truth is most of us are. And so talking about it is a really good way to kind of alleviate that stress. Also, allow yourself time to transition. Don't expect that you're going to pick it up in week one. You're going to figure it out. It may take you a semester or two or three or four to feel fully transitioned into this space. And also plan a schedule to meet your needs. That's part of what we're going to be doing in the first part of this semester is making sure that we are balancing everything that we need to balance, getting our work done, going to work if you have a job, balancing family life, personal life, all that type of stuff. So these are some things that you can start doing now. First, log into your classes, investigate, see how to navigate Canvas. Like I said, go to campus if you're taking any on-campus classes. Learn to manage your time. Make a schedule for yourself. Manage your time, manage your life, manage your stress. Um, those types of things are very important. Make sure that you are prepared for your classes. Stay current with your classes. Try not to get too far behind. Try not to save everything until the day the assignments are due. And you'll be amazed how much the transition will become easier for you when you make an effort and you are really putting your heart and soul into your work. It really does make things go a lot smoother. Get help when you need. Please contact your professors, your instructors, if you need help. Contact your academic advisors. Go call the help desk, email the help desk if you're having technical issues. If your instructors have office hours, attend those office hours. Not only are you connecting with your professor, but with other classmates. Learn from everything. Everything is a learning experience, whether it's good or bad. You can take it into the next step. Exercise. We'll talk about this later in the semester, but just a little walk is really good to increase your brain activity and try to stay motivated. We'll talk about motivation in week 2. Another thing that was mentioned in the textbook this week is communicating with staff. There were some tips for you. It's really important to remember that this is a professional academic setting. And when you are communicating with staff members, you need to do it in a professional manner. Remember that contacting your instructors is not the same as contacting a classmate or a friend or a family member. Make sure that you're using appropriate terms and titles. If your professor has a PhD, call them Dr. whoever. Or if you're not sure, say Professor whoever. Use their title. And use their last name always. Take advantage of office hours, get to know your instructors. And I know that that is a difficult thing to do in an online class. I've taken online classes before. Not only do I teach them, but I've also taken them myself. I've had this experience that you guys are having, and it makes a huge difference when you connect with your professors because I have found that they really are more willing to help you once you have made that effort to connect with them. Emailing. Send emails, but there are some stipulations to sending emails and communicating with your instructors. So times that you may want to email your professors is maybe you need to have clarification on dates and deadlines, assignments, readings. Maybe you want to schedule office hours. That's something that you can do with me. Email me and schedule office hours. Or you maybe are responding to an email from your professor if they reach out to you. It may be better to attend office hours if you want to go over a test or a paper, something like that. If you want to discuss your grade, often, better to do that in person. If you need help with practice problems, I'm thinking like math and science classes, it might be best to do that in person. And if you have really in-depth questions about the course content, that's another opportunity to meet in person. Okay. And so when you email, make sure that you're using a professional email address. If you don't know that you have an LBCC student email, you can find details about that actually in the textbook. And when you are emailing, make sure that you identify who you are, your ID, what section you're in, because oftentimes instructors are teaching multiple classes. They're trying to get to know you, especially at the beginning of the semester. Make sure that you have a subject line and that you are telling them what your email is going to be about. Don't just start typing your email. Actually include a salutation. So, dear Professor Bossert, or hello, Professor Bossert. Um, don't say, yo, Professor Bossert, right? Keep it professional, all right? Um, don't be overly familiar with your instructors because this is a professional setting. Even using like, hey, that is considered unprofessional and informal. Make sure that you're concise. Don't write novels. Okay, get to the point. Make sure that you're using proper grammar, punctuation, those types of things. And also remember that emails are forever. They last forever. They will always be there. So don't send an email that you're going to regret. If it's something that is emotional and you're frustrated and upset about, I always will step away from my computer for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever, calm down, and then go back so that I don't send an emotional email that I will regret. Also, don't complain and criticize your instructor in email. Um, if you have a concern, about grades, about policies, have that conversation in person. Don't do that over email because tone is often very difficult to distinguish in email. Okay. And then if your professor does not end up responding, I think I mentioned in my introduction video, after 48 hours, it's okay to reach out again. But please don't send your instructors email after email after email. They will get to you eventually. So avoid being over the top with sending them multiple emails in a row, and just be kind. Your instructors, your professors are human beings too. And as you guys have other responsibilities, perhaps you have families, you have kids, you have partners. Your instructors may too, and they may have other things also going on, and they are there to help you, and they want you to succeed. And so just be patient with your instructors when it comes to email. They're not sitting refreshing their emails 24/7, and we don't expect you guys to be doing that either. We know that you guys have other responsibilities as well, and you're trying to balance those things. So just be kind to your professors when you are communicating with them. And here's an example of a real email that I have received from a student. Mostly all lowercase letters, and this tone may be misinterpreted. When I first read it, I certainly thought that it had kind of a complaining negative tone. Why did you give me a 17 out of 25 on my assignment with no feedback on why I received that grade? Not only that, I'm not sure where to find the assignment you are mentioning. And so I had sent an email to remind students about an assignment, and this is what I received back. And there was no subject line, there's no salutation, and so this tone came off as kind of criticizing and complaining, and this is one of those times that I had to really step away and come back and email later to explain to the student that I did provide feedback on the assignment, where to find it, how to access the rubric, and so just know that it is important to be professional when you are sending your emails to your professors. Another example, this is a good example. So we can see there is the professional email address, the student email address, with a subject line. They've started with a salutation, told them who they are, what class they're in, and then asking to make an appointment. And then there is, the grading at the end, thank you, regards, and then the student's name. And this is a fantastic email. And this could be used as your model to email your professors. And so, navigating, communicating with instructors can be a transition, it can be a challenge. And so I hope that you can take this information and implement it not only in this class, but in your other classes as well. So go ahead and go through the rest of your module. Make sure that you've done your introductory letter. Make sure that you have done your Lassie assessment, your introduction discussion board, readings, everything else in Module 1. And I look forward to Module 2.